Back again with another one. Now in this video, I will be answering the question, was Michael Epps right? So if you don't know, Michael Epps recently, I guess he drew a little heat, a little backlash regarding some comments he made regarding SNAP, food stamps, EBT, depending on the state. So I guess he's getting fallback because he said that he's happy that they couldn't SNAP because then that'll force people to get off their ass. In other words, not verbatim. So he drew a lot of heat from that. So this video, I will be answering the question, is he right? And before I answer, y'all let me know what y'all think. Alright, so here it go. I will say this. Well, Mike Epps, before you remove that system, it has to be replaced. And this is one of the things that the Black Panthers did when it came to their survival programs. FYI. So that's the first thing. Now, usually when I hear this is usually due to a lot of us. Well, a lot of this comes from our people hating the worst in our people, as I'll put it. The laziness, the ignorance, the stereotypes. A lot of us hate that, just in general. So they feel cutting food stamps will not only prompt people to do better, but more importantly, whether they know it or not, cut the stereotype, get rid of the stereotype. Because here's another interesting little known fact, that most non-black people traditionally been on welfare than blacks. And this is before the whole immigration issue. I'm talking about traditionally, whether you want to call it because of the population and numbers, regardless. So that's where the stereotype comes in. We just been stamped as the face of the lower class, the ignorance, or everything that's the worst of an American citizen, so to speak. So that's where a lot of that comes from. And a lot of that is self-perpetuating. It goes like in a circle, because don't nobody like ignorance. Don't nobody like dysfunction. Even the people in dysfunction don't like it per se. So with that being said, being that we the face of it, the ignorance, and everybody hate ignorance, essentially they hate us. And so even black people that hate ignorance, us being the face of it, we tend to hate ourselves. A lot of us. So that's how that works. Now in the case of Mike Epps, now I'm going to assume, I'm not sure where Mike Epps was raised, and I should know this, I think he was like the Midwest or something. Now, I'm going to assume he wasn't rich, so he knows a little bit about the struggle. I'm not going to say he grew up in the projects, I don't know. But I'm just going to assume he knows a little bit about the struggle. And this is another thing, because of course, the majority of us live below the poverty line. Not everybody black grew up in the ghetto. That's another stereotype. Everybody black ain't ignorant. Everybody black, mama wasn't on welfare, and blase, blase, blase. So that's another stereotype. But as I was saying, Mike is in-house, so it's not like from the outside looking in, somebody finger pointing. Although we do got, and I say that to say I feel it's coming from a genuine place. Now, this is the assume because this, regardless of how people grew up, once they got that money, they get comfortable and then they tend to look down on people. And this is why the first statement I said was before you remove some, you have to replace it, meaning you're going to have to come with some solutions. And I'm going to speak a little bit about that because, well, for one, for what I hear, when I think a lot of these people receiving these benefits or whatever, a lot of times it ain't free. They still got to go to work or workshops or apply for jobs, something along them lines, I believe. But anyway, more importantly, when you remove something and you're replacing it, and I'm speaking more than just a charity or even a non-profit, and although that's a start, but I'm thinking long term, even dare I say institutional building, because it's already a natural change taking place due to the whole technology and AI, so a lot of people about to get left behind. So before you criticize, we ain't even gonna go down a rabbit hole. Before you criticize, think about those type of things first. Think about the solution base as opposed to finger pointing, because it's easy to be at the top and look down. Although, don't get me wrong, when you didn't battle and made your way to the top, can't nobody take that from you, and you got haters, and you may even try to help folks, loved ones, whatnot, and they blew the money, and you like, man, fuck it, I ain't giving nobody nothing else. And now people want to accuse you of being stingy. That's different. But it's a thin line between really wanting to help your people and really not wanting your people dependent on that there and just looking down on them, turning your nose up on them. Because, and don't get me wrong, it's variables when it comes to the face of the welfare, because you got the welfare queen, and we see these videos, the welfare queen who really just using the system, so to speak. And then you got the youngster or the YN or the person that's just swindling, really don't need it, just yiping it. But there is no right or wrong answer. I would just say, depending whatever you swing on that, really question why you feel that way. Where is it coming from? I'll say that. Because again, so nobody like the bullshit. Now I get it, it's a time and place for everything, but that's the problem with us. We don't restrict it to time and place. We just broadcast it everywhere. And of course, society is going to highlight it. And they're going to capitalize off of it like they've been doing. So they're not going to discourage it. Yeah, if you want to jump off a bridge, yeah, they're going to allow you to, and they're going to figure out a way to get paid. That's basically what's been going on. That's going to continue to go on. But nowadays, we got people exploiting themselves to play into the stereotypes. So, you see, you can think forever on this here, but point is, make sure it's coming from a proper place. But you point the finger, and more importantly, offer some solutions.